So the big news over the weekend has been, who is Trump going to put in his cabinet?
Trump has just tapped Florida Senator Marco Rubio to be his Secretary of State. This means Governor Ron DeSantis will now have to pick a senator to fill that vacancy down there in Florida. Rubio ran against Donald Trump in 2016. Now he's in his cabinet. He's going to have a big portfolio. China, Iran, Ukraine, Venezuela. A lot of action.
Senator Rubio, will you call for ceasefire?
No, I will not. On the contrary.
Rubio,
are you filming it?
Wait,
I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So
I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
Okay, you're going to see a lot of these videos because I'm trying to introduce you to all of the major players because we're going to be hearing them between now and the inauguration in a big way. It's really the only news there is because remember, he doesn't take office until the inauguration, January 20th. So welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are as we document the Trump transition.
You would be the greatest press secretary in the history of the United States. Take the freaking job.
Can you imagine? No, I think I used to say to reporters who worked for me, I would always have the same rule. I'd always give them the same lecture. And I would say, you can't, you should be passionate about things, but if you can't cover your own girlfriend because you love her. And I think the same is true for hate. If you hate someone, you should not be covering the person because you can't see their humanity. You're just blinded by rage. And I feel that way about the national media. I mean, I really mean it. I dislike them. I know conservatives are always telling you how much they hate the media. I hate the media. Imagine if you're me and you spent your whole life with them and you know them all personally and you know just how corrupt they are, that they would, and they have, sat there and told lies that put people in prison, separated them from their children. Like, I could not be in a briefing room full of people like that.
We have, for instance, there's some gossip of Melania Trump not going to the normal first lady's tea with Jill Biden, which is tradition. That's just an example of something small. But here's the big one is Lee Zeldin. Okay, remember him? I believe he was the guy in New York who also had an assassination attempt against him by a left-wing lunatic back when he was running 6 years ago. Well, he's going to be in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. That's the first announcement.
So day one and the first 100 days, we have the opportunity to roll back regulations that are forcing businesses to be able to struggle. They're forced to cut costs internally.
This is the biggest difference between the right and the left. He's going to get the boot off the back of business and environmental policy, preventing businesses from building in certain places, all those kinds of blockages, preventing government land from being used, all that, even preventing drilling out in the ocean, as environmental policy. We're going to start, this guy is going to get to work on that.
This is going to be a great 4 years for America. It's not just about a great day one or a great first 100 days. I have a feeling that we're on the verge of what could be the greatest 4 years we've ever seen of any president in the White House.
Now, how's that for some hope? We went from going, America's over, America's done. That's what I saw on Twitter. There's Lee Zeldin with some hope. The greatest 4 years in America of our lives. Are you ready for that?
So we're learning from sources that he is planning to name Stephen Miller, his longtime aide, as the deputy chief of staff for policy. Now, Miller, he was a key architect of Trump's hardline immigration policies in his first administration, including, Terry, that highly controversial family separation policy. This comes as Donald Trump has named Tom Homan, the director of ICE, as his border czar. Trump says that Homan is going to be tasked with deporting illegal immigrants.
Okay, look at there's Trump's winning team: Susie Wiles, Tom Homan, Elise Stefanik, Stephen Miller. Two of the four being very smart, strong, intelligent women, unlike Mark Cuban, who is not a very smart woman.
It's going to be a well-targeted, planned operation conducted, led by the men of ICE. The men and women of ICE do this daily. They're good at it. They're all got Fourth Amendment training. They know they can and cannot do legally. And it's a well-targeted. When we go out there, we're going to know who we're looking for. We most likely know where they're going to be, and this will be done in a humane manner.
That's Tom Homan about getting started on the deportation. We're going to do a legal, humane manner.
It's important to point out that mass deportations would be hugely costly.
Oh, boo-hoo, it's going to cost some money. First of all, it's the first run that the Democrat Party is running. Is going, it's going to cost too much. So that's ABC News already doing their disruption, running their play. It's very expensive to deport. Well, whose fault is that? Who's the one who invited 11 to 20 million people into the country? It's not Trump's fault for paying the money to deport them.
And complex. According to the American Immigration Council, it could cost $88 billion per year, not to mention the warnings from experts who say this could have a devastating impact on the economy by taking out such a significant portion of the labor pool, Terry.
And there you go, illegals. Democrats want to put you in as a legal slave group. They're saying, who's going to do these jobs? Pick our fruit, but you get no citizenship. And they're afraid that we're going to take those jobs away, quote unquote, that no one wants to do. Well, maybe we can double their salaries now that there's less competition. Maybe we can have our youth and some of our poor, maybe some of our inner city people who are capable workers, we can pay them to do those jobs.
So, Selena, let's talk about Elon Musk, right? The billionaire. It looks like he's really becoming a major player in the second Trump administration. He's going to be in the government, do you think? Or what's the story there?
I don't think he has time to officially be in the government, but this is why we called it first with Elon Musk. We said this is the most significant. Him buying X is the most significant thing for free speech. Him eventually making his way to the Trump campaign is one of the most significant things that caused Trump to win. And now he's helping Trump pack out his cabinet. Do you know why? I'm just going to let you figure out, why do you think it's wise to have someone like Elon Musk help Trump pick his cabinet?
All right, and Selena, this meeting between President-elect Trump and still sitting President Biden, that's going to happen later this week. What do we expect?
Yeah, so this is expected to be on Wednesday, the scheduled meeting between President-elect Donald Trump and President Biden. We're told by the White House that they're going to be discussing domestic and foreign policy issues. You can expect that President Biden is going to be making his case for why the U.S. cannot walk away from sending aid to Ukraine. And I've been speaking to senior national security officials in the Biden administration, and they're very realistic about what little they can actually do to Trump-proof their policies.
No, you can't. They're trying to overthrow the will of the American people, many of them who voted for Trump because they knew that he would probably pull out of Ukraine. Now Biden, he's allowed to make his case, whatever. I'm more excited about Elon Musk. He already provided Starlink to everyone in the Ukraine, to many of their forces. He helped them out a lot without actually sending them missiles and getting us involved in another war. So that's the good news about him. By the way, the reason why, I believe I asked this question earlier, why should Trump have Elon Musk help him pick staff? Because Elon Musk built all these different kinds of businesses, and he's known for hiring the right kinds of people. He's able to cut 3/4 of the workforce and get the same amount of efficiency. He hires the right fixers, the right managers, the right lawyers, the right executives. He's really wise at staffing a business, and I think Trump's going to tap him to help him show him ways to tap the government that'll help keep them on task with their mutual goal of saving America.
But I am told that they're going to be surging as much aid to Ukraine as they can in this little time that is left. But of course, Terry, another critical part of this meeting is the transition process. President Biden has vowed that he's going to direct his administration to ensure there is a smooth transfer of power, something that President-elect Trump did not do in 2020. But make no mistake, this is very difficult for President Biden. Donald Trump is somebody who he believes is a threat to democracy, and now he's got to hand over the keys of power to Donald Trump, Terry.
So many lies in that one, it's hard to even straighten them out. First one was that she said that Trump did not smoothly transfer power. Trump did not spy on the next opponent the way that Obama did to Trump. Okay, so there's all kinds of ways to spin that, which she probably means is to put more shade on the J6 stuff. But overall, you know, the transfer of power happened. Biden did become president. Trump did leave the White House. And frankly, I'll be surprised if that happens this time, where Biden actually does what he says and smoothly transfers power without triggering all of those Antifa rioters throughout Washington, Portland, and in Washington, D.C. Finally, I do pray for the peaceful transfer of power. I do pray for Biden giving him a proper handoff. I think it's great that these guys meet. I think Trump and he need to bury the hatchet as best they can. But she already said Biden's the one who called him an existential threat. And now what, he's going to go shake his hand? Because we all know that Biden knows he was lying when he said that. I'm Doug in exile.